it's 2:30. We call this meeting to order. Roll call.
Commissioner Cheney, Commissioner Casterline,
Here.
Commissioner Russo.
Here.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Here.
Judge Garza.
Here. That's four. We have a quorum. Citizens will be heard. Do we have anybody signed up? Nope. All right. We're gonna move right on to items for deliberation. Action item 1. I need to do an amendment on the agenda where it says premium surcharges of $553,640. We're gonna change that to $789. About $789,000, 371. All right.
I move to approve purchasing commercial wind
We
insurance.
want to, don't say if we wanted to get them to make a presentation first.
Well, they can give us information, right? During the discussion.
Yes.
Okay, I move to approve purchasing commercial wind insurance for Aransas County properties from the Texas Windstorm Insurance Association through Glass, Sorensen, and David, period of 1 year, with premium and surcharges in the amount of $789,371, and authorize the county judge to execute necessary documents and authorize the county auditor to issue payment for that policy.
Second.
Right, discussion. It went up a little since
So we discussed, yes, it did, yes. So we discussed last meeting and there were some items that we needed additional information on. And then towers as well. Yes, ma'am. Oh, Blake McDavid with GSM Insurance, thank you. And there were some towers as well. So the additional items were marked in green, I think on the original form. The towers had a pretty heavy rate that came with them. So there were 4 towers that were added. One of them at a value of $941,629. And that's the radio antenna dispatch tower. And that premium alone for TWIA associated with that tower is $172,000 when we've added that. So it comes with a different rate because it's a different kind of structure.
And I do want to add with that, we are required by FEMA to carry that amount of insurance on it. Because they paid that much to rebuild all of that after Harvey. We do have a notice from them that we are required to carry that much, that value on it.
What is that tower value?
$941,000.
And that's current value. I mean, that's what it costs us to put it up.
Yes,
Yes.
if that's actual cash price.
The replacement value might be higher.
So do we have replacement on it?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that's the form. Can I have that one? Oh, no, that was the signature.
How long are you required to insure it for FEMA?
I don't know. I will have to ask that because I would imagine as long as it's there. Because if we had another storm 40 years down the road, we're gonna have to replace it. And if we're not carrying the correct insurance on it, they won't cover it.
The other towers came with the hefty premium as well. So I don't know the requirements there, and I don't know the appetite for the county on insuring those with me. But for example, there's a tower on 714 East Concho at a limit of $250,000, and the premium was $45,000 for that one.
That one, I believe, is the one that's right there at the public safety
Yeah,
center.
that's one of
That's what
those. You
that
should have
is.
another one on Holiday Beach.
Yes.
There's one at Holiday Beach. There's one on Freeze Lane.
On the South Fire Station.
I'm sorry.
How many towers? Oh,
Or
For
The Friesling by the fire department.
and then one at the south, or the one on, it's in Terrace, this terrace is over there.
Yeah, there's a 150, a 25, a 75, and a 941. There was a Holiday Beach that was retitled to a different.
That's the
location.
one on freeze. It said
Yes,
holiday.
Yeah.
because it was two Holiday Beach.
Yeah, yeah,
Right. And that one was valued at 146.
So what are the buildings valued at that we own that are occupied by the Rockport Fire Department? My thought is maybe we should give them to the Rockport Fire Department.
I don't know that we have.
We don't have,
The buildings, I think just the towers.
no, I think we.
I saw something
I
on
think
that.
we own two of the buildings and the city owns the other two.
Yeah, we own one off of Market Street and then we own the one
The south one.
out by across from Palm Harbor,
Yes.
Yes.
Breeze Lane or.
Yes. Commissioner, that's something we can absolutely
These are all the ones.
explore in the coming months.
We talked about that in the past one time, but I don't remember where it went.
I think that's a good thought and perhaps we should look at doing that in the near future and see if the commissioner's court wants to do that.
We also just built that new tower over there by the water tanks on 35.
What's it called?
It's not on.
This is what's covered.
I mean, the new one, isn't that the one he was just talking about?
It's a different one.
It's a different one. It's a new one. We haven't
one-
accepted.
The one on 188.
It's not complete yet, so once it's complete, it'll have to be
Okay.
added.
The West Side Fire Station.
That's West Terrace, I believe.
Yeah. Well, if we can do it at a later date, then it might be something. we'll look
Something
at.
to consider.
All right, any other questions?
And if I didn't see the policy, but we need to.
Can I just say that we're grateful that Twist was willing to offer us this coverage? We were left with the last minute situation where we would cover it and be able to come through for us by giving us this offer. Our insurance was not renewed by our insurance carrier. We found out on February 10th that we would have no insurance. And we were able to get this offer together with the help from GSM and Frequia going out and it's on a limb kind of for us to be willing to offer this. So thank you
They
to
did.
GSM and to TWIA for that.
And this is the best rate we're getting.
The best we've seen, yes.
Okay.
We discussed in the alternates what we received from the open market on wind. And the primary layer was more than double. And that was for about $5 million of coverage, was more than double what we've received on TWIA here. So TWIA's rate is by far. And on the towers, just to, I don't know if it makes anybody feel better or not, but we did have, we did go to the open market for the towers as well. We didn't just go to TWIA. And the best case scenario indications we were given for the towers were in line with this, with no guarantee. So there was a lot of looking around that went with this. It wasn't just a go to TWIA, but TWIA really came through. I'll just leave it at that in a way that we hadn't seen in a long time. So
Thank you. Thank you. All right, any other questions, discussion? Don't vote.
Commissioner Casterline, Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye. Unanimous. Item number 2.
Commissioner Casterline. Sorry, Judge.
Do what? Thought we'd already
I move to approve purchasing property insurance from Landmark American Insurance Company through Glass Thornton and David Incorporated for a period of 1 year with the premium and surcharges of $252,869.25. Also authorized county judge to execute necessary documents and authorize the county auditor to issue payment for the policy.
A second then.
We got a motion, we got a second, and I want the record to show Commissioner Cheney is in attendance. All right.
Probably want.
Which item are we on, Judge? I'm sorry.
Item number 2.
How do we do on number 1?
It passed.
All right, good, thank you.
Do we want to repeat the motion, Commissioner Cheney's benefit?
It's on the sheet.
I'll read this for number 2.
Doesn't.
I move to approve purchasing property insurance from Landmark American Insurance Company through Glass Thornton and David Incorporated for a period of 1 year with a premium and surcharges of $252,869.25. Also authorize the county judge to execute necessary documents and authorize the county auditor to issue payment fund policy.
Oh, a second again.
Three second.
We got a motion, we have a second.
Did you want to say anything about this either of you?
This is your all other than wind property quote, so I think I referred to it as the fire policy quite a bit to you. Yeah, that's probably a good explanation. It is the Landmark is a non-admitted carrier, and again, to Travis's point earlier, this was not the only place we looked. There was quite a bit of looking, and this is one of the carriers that was approached, and this is, I believe, the only carrier that we found that would do the fire at the limits asked. The rest were a way reduced limit and not better price.
It would require layering of the fire. The fire is just not something we normally see, but in this market, it requires layering of the fire. So to get all the fire in one was a big deal. Plus, if you look at the terms and conditions, they're pretty favorable with the loss of income and the deductibles compared to what we saw in the other options. The terms are actually really good.
Is this a company that y'all worked with before?
Yes.
Landmark, and y'all have good history with them?
So far, I can only tell you the date, but the date, yes.
All right, any other questions or discussion? All right, let's go and vote.
Commissioner Casterline. Commissioner,
Aye.
I apologize. Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
and Commissioner Dusnick. Judge Garza.
Aye, unanimous. Okay, item number 3.
I move to approve purchasing excess wind coverage to supplement the coverage obtained through the Texas Windstorm Insurance Association for a period of 1 year. Authorize the county judge to execute necessary documents and authorize the county auditor to issue payment for the policy not to exceed $89,553.49.
Second.
Motion, we got a second.
And this is to go up to how much from what we was covered, TWIS coverage is done.
This is for originally the quote that we talked about last week was for the detention center and the workforce development center, but we changed the value on the workforce development center to fall in line with TWIA, so it's not needed on the workforce development center. So this is to bring the value to the detention center to the full 12 million. $12 million. I'm looking at the change.
It brings it to the full schedule value on the detention center building only, because TWIA gives us a max value of 4.4 million. And so we have to cover from 4 to, and that's the only building that exceeded the 4 million maximum limit on TWIA. So on that one building, we had to purchase in the open market excess wind to get the full schedule value.
And what did you say it's insured for now, the detention center?
The value of the detention center, 12,153,000.
Thank you.
And for the record, this policy is 84,000. Is that the right one?
Correct. Yeah.
768
Yes.
and 91 cents.
No, thought it was 89.
It's the 84 is correct. The 80, there were two options. The 89 one was the one that would have been inclusive of the workforce development at the higher value, but since the value's been lowered to below the TWIA, we only need it for detention. So the 84 is the.
And I should amend my motion.
You can. Your motion was a not to exceed motion, but for clarity in the record, I would go ahead and amend.
All right. Then I move to approve purchasing excess insurance coverage to supplement the coverage obtained through the Texas Windstorm Insurance Association for a period of 1 year. Authorize the county judge to execute necessary documents and authorize the county auditor to issue payment for the policy not to exceed $84,768.91.
Second.
And the effective date of these policies is what?
They're going to
Today.
be whenever we get the binding order. Or whenever we order binding and get binding back from the company, because they are surplus.
Might that be today?
The hope is today, yes. We just can't
Can't
promise it
guarantee
because we don't
it.
have binding authority, so we'll order it as soon as we leave, we'll call it in and
Do you need the payment today or Monday?
we'll check. We'll see if we have to, let me get back with you. I'll call in a minute, see if, it depends on if we have to upload it. If we're manually check, it won't matter. We can do it Monday.
If you'll let me know, we can.
Well, before we leave, we'll know.
Well, do we need to then amend Commissioner Russo's motion to include authorizing the judge to issue that payment?
No, it's in
It's in the motion.
it's in the motion.
No other further questions? Let's go ahead and vote.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye. Unanimous. Item number 4.
Move to approve purchasing insurance coverage for the county's mobile equipment for a period of 1 year. Authorize the county judge to execute necessary documents and authorize the county auditor to issue payment for the policy. In the amount of, which option did we take? 48. $48,964.30.
What
I'll
was it?
second that.
Yeah, what were the two options? That's quite a bit of difference.
It is. We had two options on the inland marine. One was from Star Insurance Company, and that was the 48,964. And the other is from
It was RLI.
RLI, yes, ma'am. And really, Commissioner Cheney, the differences are in the deductibles, I suppose, and just the difference in pricing.
Well, the cat limit,
And the cat limit as well is 2.5 million. So we're insuring 2.9 million. Total insured value 2.969. Total limit on the mobile equipment. And the cat limit for the Star policy at $48,000 is 2.5 million. And a $1 million limit on cat flood.
And the difference in price, Commissioner Cheney, was about $50,000.
while the other one had higher cat limits, it also had significantly higher deductibles. I think had 200,000 deductible for
Right.
negative events and
Okay.
things of that nature. So they were different.
All wind was 200 on the other.
All wind, yeah, including non-named storms. So there was a significant deductible difference, but it had a higher cat limit, so it was included.
Yes.
We got a motion. Did anybody ever second that?
I did.
Okay.
Oh, no, I made the
I
motion.
seconded.
I'm sorry. I was thinking of the other one. You got too many motions going.
All right. Any other questions? Comments? Vote.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye. Unanimous. Item number 5.
Move to approve authorizing the county auditor to issue payment in the amount of $1,000 to correct an underpayment for services under the contract labor agreement, second amendment between Aransas County and Randy Bingham. PAC.
I'll second that. I did have a question. Didn't we just do this last month? Or is this supplemental to that?
Commissioner, we approved an amendment. And the change in the payment method wasn't updated to match our amendment just yet.
Oh, okay, so
So
we're just
this is just,
cleaning it up.
yes, just to give an additional check to make up the difference. And then from this point forward, the payment will match what was in the contract.
Okay, thank you.
And doesn't his pay come out of the healthcare money? Is
I
that
believe
right?
that this portion comes out of the sheriff's department budget.
Okay.
Any further questions?
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dukenyak, and
Aye.
Garza.
Aye. 0 unanimous. Item number 6.
I move to approve update the updated job description for Director of Environmental Health.
I'll second that.
We got a motion, we got a second, and this was something that needed to be changed. Since last week or since Monday, we've had more sets of eyes look at this, and I believe we have a really good position description for our Director of Environmental Health. If y'all have no further questions.
No, I just want to thank Ms. Stone for making the adjustments regarding the tree ordinance activity and this person's position and work relative to that. Very good, thank you.
But
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dukenyak.
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Hi. Justice.
Move to adjourn.
Well, I have one. I just would like to mention, I visited with the auditor and with the assistant county attorney about the changes that these insurance policies will have on our budget for the year. And I made an adjustment for the reduction of the $5,000 on the other one. So it comes out to a little less than 550,000 that will be over budget on the insurance premiums for 2023.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the budget amount was, but I was told by one of the school board members that their insurance increased $800,000.
I have a question here. When are we planning on filling this? Are we going down immediately for advertising or what are we doing?
For the Director of Environmental Health, I'm doing interviews on Monday.
Okay. Can one of us or all of us individually come in and sit in on the interview or two? I mean, that's entirely up to you.
Yeah, I've got someone in there with me. It'd just be too, yeah, it'd be just too much. It'd be me, the interviewee, and I've got Jen sitting in. Usually I'd have the HR director, but her husband works in that department, so I'm not gonna have her call.
Conflict of interest? Bob's pretty even handed.
But we got a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second,
I apologize for being late. I took my daughter to work and Lord knows I need her taken to her. I got it. Yes,
Vote to adjourn.
yes. Agreed.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo.
aye.
Commissioner Dukenyak.
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye.